Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn about optimized link state routing protocol. So let's get started. The optimized link state routing protocol, that is OLSR, is a proactive routing protocol. Means it is a table driven routing protocol. It means that it will maintain a route table from the node to each and every other node that employs an efficient link state packet forwarding mechanism. Here an efficient link state packet forwarding mechanism is used, that is known as multi-point relaying. I'll talk about it in the further points. This protocol optimizes the pure link state routing protocol. You see, every protocol, it is an optimized version of the previous one, right? So this is the optimized version of the pure link state routing protocol, and those optimizations are done in two ways. By reducing the size of the control packets. Control packets means nothing but hello packets, data packets, acknowledgement packets. These are control packets. If you reduce these control packets, you are going to reduce the bandwidth consumed, and you are going to even reduce the power which is consumed by the node in order to transmit these control packets. So if you reduce the size of the control packets, you are going to conserve the bandwidth and power also. By reducing the number of links that are used for forwarding the link state packets, you will forward the link state packets from the source node to destination node, right? So number of links means the intermediate nodes between the source node and the destination node will be reduced. The path length, the overall path length will be reduced. Here, these are the two optimizations in this OLSR. The reduction in the size of the link state packets is made by declaring only a subset of the links in the link state updates. You see, we are going to reduce the size of the link state packets, right? How? We are going to declare a subset of the links. Within the links, we are going to declare a subset in the link state updates. This subset of links or neighbors that are designed for link state updates and are assigned the responsibility of the packet forwarding are called as multi-point relays. For example, see, if you consider this is a network A, whole network A. In this network A, we are going to select some of the nodes, that is B. This B is the subset of this big set A. So, this subset of links or neighbors that are designed for link state updates and are assigned the responsibility of packet forwarding are called as multi-point relays. Means those nodes which are present in this subset are the links, they are the links, and they are responsible to forward the packets, and they are designed for link state updates. As these are involved in multi-point relaying, this subset of links are known as multi-point relays. The optimization by the use of multi-point relays. The optimization by the use of multi-point relaying facilitates periodic link state updates. Means the link state updates will be done periodically in a particular time period manner. The link state update mechanism does not generate any other control packets when a link breaks or when a link is newly added. Means it will not generate any root error message when a link is broken. It will not generate any root error message, or when a new node is added, it will not just specify to the nodes in the other nodes, it will not just specify about that node to the other nodes in the network. Means if a node is newly added, or if a node is partitioned from the network, it will not just intimate about that node to all the other nodes. So in order to reduce the control packet overhead, the link state update mechanism achieves higher efficiency when operating in highly dense networks. You see, in highly dense networks, we are going to have highest mobility of the nodes, right? So it will cause link breaks and new links will be added. So it will consume more energy and bandwidth and power when control packets are frequently generated in order to accomplish the task of identifying the newly added nodes or the broken nodes, right? So this will not be a case in this OLSR. Figure A, I'll show it to you later. Figure A shows the number of message transmissions required when the typical flooding based approach is employed. What is meant by flooding? Flooding means a source node will transmit the packet, whatever control packet or data packet or a request packet or a hello packet. It will just transmit that packet, that hello packet, to all other nodes in the network. That is known as flooding. Flooding based approach is employed. In this case, the number of message transmissions is approximately equal to the number of nodes that constitute the network. You see, you need to transmit a message to all the members. Means you're going to transmit the message to all the nodes, right? So the number of times you transmit that message is equal to the number of nodes that are available in that network. As simple as it is. The set constituting of nodes that are multi-point relays is referred to as multi-point relay set. You see, I have already told you about the subset which constitutes links which are responsible for packet forwarding, right? See here, packet forwarding, those set. The set constituting of nodes, set means it will constitute nodes, right? So those are known as multi-point relays, and that set is known as multi-point relay set. See, this is the figure A. This is the figure A. See, this is the figure A. Here, in this figure A, flooding the network takes as many transmissions as the number of nodes. See, here the source 1 will transmit each and every message, will transmit the message to each and every node in this network, right? So flooding the network takes as many transmissions as the number of nodes. Means if you want to communicate with each and every node in the network, then you have to transmit that hello message to all the nodes in this network, right? So number of transmissions of that message is equal to the number of nodes available in the network, right? This is the typical example of that. An example selection of MPR set in OLSR, that is this one, B1. I'll discuss about this later. Next point, each node, say P, just say a random node P in the network selects an MPR set, means multi-point relaying set, that process and forwards every link state packet that node P originates. For example, here if you select this node, let us select this node 4 as the P set. I have told you, no, each node P in the network selects an MPR set. Means here, let us consider this 4. Node 4 will select an MPR set, which constitutes, let us consider this 4 has selected the MPR set, which has the members as 12, 10, 2, 3. These are highlighted, right? So 10, 12, 2, 3 are the MPR set members. Then these members, these nodes are responsible for processing, forwarding the packets which are originated by this node 4. If node 4 originates a packet, then these numbers, these nodes 2, 3, 10, 12 nodes must process and forward those packets that are originated by node 4. This is what this point indicates. And the next one is the neighbor nodes that do not belong to the MPR set. Means the nodes which are not in the MPR set process the link state packets originated by the node P but do not forward them. See, I'll again tell you here. Here node 4 has selected an MPR set which has 2, 3, 10, 12. 2, 3, 10, 12. 2, 3, 10, 12 are the MPR set of node 4, right? Then 2, 3, 10, 12 will forward and process the packets that are originated by 4. But these 7, 8 and 5 are not in the MPR set, right? So they will not forward them, but they'll process the packets that are originated by node 4. See, understand the difference. If the nodes which are present in the MPR set will both forward and process the packets that are originated by node 4, but these nodes does not belong to the MPR set, right? So they'll just process the packets that are originated by node 4. They'll not forward them. Similarly, each node maintains a subset of neighbors called MPR selectors. Each node will maintain a subset of neighbors. Those are called as MPR selectors, which is nothing but the set of neighbors that have selected the node as a multi-point relay. You see here, multi-point relay subset is there, right? So in that way, we are going to select a subset of neighbors. Neighboring nodes are grouped and formed as MPR selectors, which is nothing but the set of neighbors that have selected the node as a multi-point relay. A node forwards packets that are received from nodes belonging to its MPR selector set. Node will forward the packet which belongs to the MPR selector set. As I have already told you, if node 4 will originate the packet which will be forwarded by node 10, 12, 2, 3. So if 3 or 2 or 10 or 12 originate a packet, these will be forwarded by these members only. Other members will not forward it. Those nodes which are in the MPR set will forward their packets. Those nodes which are not in MPR set, they will just process the packet. I hope you understand it. Please be with me if you want to learn more about OLSR. The members from both the MPR set and MPR selectors, the nodes which belongs to both MPR set and MPR selectors, means it does mean that the members which belong, it means that the MPR set members and the MPR selectors keep changing over time. As I have already told you, this is applicable for highly dense network, right? These members will keep changing over time. The members of the MPR set, multi-point relaying set of a node, are selected in such a manner that every node in the node's 2-hop neighborhood has a bidirectional link with the node. You see, 2-hop means the distance between the node must be, for example, let us see here 4. This is node 4 and this is node 12. You see, from node 4 to node 12, the distance is 1 hop, right? Single hop distance. If you want to travel to node 13, the distance is 2 hops. See, from 4 to 8, single hop, 8 to 13, another single hop. So 2 hop. This is meant by 2 hop. So the members of the MPR set of a node are selected in such a manner that every node in the node's 2-hop neighborhood, they must be in the 2-hop neighborhood, has a bidirectional link with the node. Bidirectional link in the sense, in the same link, using the same link, you can just transmit in both forward direction and in the reverse direction as well. The selection of nodes that constitutes the MPR set significantly affects the performance of the OLSR. Means the selection of nodes. The nodes must be selected in such that the distance between the neighboring nodes must be less, right? It must cover overall nodes in the network, right? So it will affect the performance of the OLSR, because a node calculates routes to all the destinations only through the members of its MPR set. So these nodes are very, very important in order to reduce the path length. Every node periodically broadcasts its MPR selector set to nodes in its immediate neighborhood. It will periodically broadcast about the MPR selector set nodes in its immediate neighborhood in order to decide on membership of the nodes in the MPR set. A node periodically sends hello messages that contains the list of neighbors with which the node has a bidirectional links and the list of the neighbors whose transmissions were received in the recent past but with whom bidirectional links have not yet been confirmed. This is the procedure in order to form a MPR selector set. See, we have to send the hello packets, and then we have to list out the neighbors which has the bidirectional link. See, bidirectional links, and we have to identify whether they have received any of the packets from them. We have to identify these things when you are going to select an MPR selector set. The nodes that receive this hello packet, means beacon packet, update their own 2-hop topology tables. As I have already told you, 2-hop topology means nothing but 2-hop distance. Topology means the network configuration is topology tables. It will update the 2-hop topology table. The selection of multi-point relays is also indicated in the hello packet, means beacon packet. We are going to select the multi-point relays based on the 2-hop topology and neighborhood nodes, and of course bidirectional links also. A data structure called neighbor table is used to store the list of members. Data structure is a structure which is used to store some data. As we know about it, we have studied it in C data structure in 1-2, right? A data structure called neighbor table is used to store the list of neighbors. Neighbor table, the table itself tells that it will store information regarding neighbor. So list of neighbors, what are the neighbors that are available in the network with respect to that node. The 2-hop neighbors, the distance between the node and the neighbors must be 2-hop, as I have already told you, MPR set selector set criteria. And the status of the neighbor nodes. See, this is the neighbor table data structure. It will have list of neighbors that are present in the network, 2-hop neighbors, the 2-hop neighbors, status of the neighbor nodes. This is the data structure which constitutes of the information regarding the neighbors. Neighbor table, the name itself tells that it constitutes about neighbors. So it constitutes list of neighbors, 2-hop neighbors, status of neighbor nodes. The neighbor nodes can be in one of the 3 possible link status. The status of the neighbor nodes, right? We have this. The neighbor nodes can be in one of the 3 possible link status. The link status may be unidirectional, bidirectional, or multi-point relay, right? So these are the 3 possible status of the neighbor nodes. In order to remove the stale entries, means scam entries from the neighbor table, every entry has an associated timeout value, which when expired removes the table entry. Similarly, a sequence number is attached with the MPR set which gets incremented. If incremented, then that indicates that is the freshly generated one, right? With every new MPR set. The MPR set need not be optimal. It need not be optimal, and during initialization of the network, it may be same as the neighbor set. I hope you understand it. The MPR set need not be optimal. It must not be optimal, and during the initialization of the network, it may be same as the neighbor set. The smaller the nodes number in the MPR set, the higher the efficiency of the protocol compared to the link state routing. The number of nodes available in the MPR set must be very less, so that the efficiency of the protocol will be very much higher than link state routing protocol. Every node periodically originates topology control packets. Topology control packets. Every node will originate it periodically that contain topology information with which the routing table is updated. These topology control packet contains the MPR selector set of every node and are flooded throughout the network using the multi-point relay mechanism. It just means that every node will send the topology control packet that contains topology control. The name itself tells it contains topology information with which the routing table is updated. Routing table will be updated by using this packets. TC packets contains the MPR selector set of every node and are flooded throughout the network using the multi-point relaying mechanism. Every node in the network receives several such TC packets, topology control packets, from different nodes, and by using the information contained in the TC packets, the topology table is built. A TC message may be originated by a node earlier than its regular period if there is a change in the MPR selector set after the previous transmission and a minimal time has elapsed after that. An entry in the topology table contains a destination node, which is the MPR selector, and a last hop node to the destination, which is the node that originates the TC packet. See, in the topology table, we contains the information about destination node, which is the MPR selector. MPR selector means destination node, and a last hop node to the destination. Last hop node means a single hop node to the destination, which is the node that originates the TC packet. The node which originates the TC packet will be there, and the destination node will be there in this topology table. Hence, the routing table maintains routes for all other nodes in the network. This is the selection of the multi-point relay nodes. How we are going to select it? This is most important. You must write it in your exam in order to get good marks. Figure B, I will tell you in the later session. Figure B shows the forwarding of TC, topology control packets, using the MPR set of node 4. MPR set of node 4. In this example, node 4 selects the nodes 2, 3, 10, 12 as the members of its MPR set. Forwarding by these nodes makes the TC packets reach all nodes within the transmitting nodes. Two-hop local topology. The selection of the optimal MPR set is NP complete in a heuristic way as follows. You see, as I have already told you, let us consider this again. This figure B. Here this highlight one is node belonging to the MPR set of node 4. And this, as you can see here, this node 4 has the MPR set members as 10, 12, 2, 3. These are the set members 2, 3, 10, 12. So what it will do? It will send. See, this node 4 will originate the packets. It will forward them to 10, 12, 2, 3. These nodes will forward those packets which are sent by 4 to all other nodes in the network. This 4 will not forward the packet to all other nodes in the network. It will make these nodes to forward them. I hope you understand it. Let us consider Ni of x refers to the ith hop neighbor set of node x. As I have already told you, 2-hop neighbor set, right? So here we have ith hop neighbor set of node x, and MPR of x refers to the MPR set of node x. See, in the example we have this, right? See, let us consider this is node 4. Node 4 MPR set is 10, 12, 2, 3. Node 4's neighbor set is 13, 1, like that, right? 2 hop. So here Ni of x refers to the ith hop neighbor set of node x, and MPR of x refers to the MPR set of node x. Here MPR of x means multi-point relay set is actually empty first. Initializing empty MPR set. Step 2. MPR of x. Those nodes that belong to N1 of x means neighborhood 1 of x, and which are only neighbors of nodes in N2 of x. This is N1 of x. This is N2 of x. N1 of x means for node x, those nodes which are of single hop distance, those nodes are belong to these nodes and which are only neighbors of nodes in second 2-hop distance with X, node X. These two are in this MPR of X set. While there exist some nodes in N2 of X which is not covered by MPR of X, means as I have already told you, the smaller the number of nodes in the MPR set, the higher the efficiency, right? So it will not cover all the nodes that are in N2 of X, right? So it will not be covered. While there exist some nodes in N2 of X which is not covered by MPR of X, for each node in N1 of X, means single hop distance nodes with respect to node X which is not in the MPR of X set, which is not selected in the multi-point relay set, compute the maximum number of nodes that it covers among the uncovered nodes in this set N2 of X, means second hop, 2-hop distance from this X. It will compute the maximum number of nodes that it covers. We need nodes which can cover maximum number of nodes, right? Among the uncovered nodes in the set N2 of X. Add to MPR of X. We'll add them. We'll add those nodes which can cover maximum number of nodes to the MPR of X, the node belonging to N1 of X. Single hop distance from the node X, for which this number is maximum. A node updates its MPR set whenever it detects a new bidirectional link in its neighborhood. Node updates its MPR set. Multi-point relay set will be updated whenever a new bidirectional link is detected in the neighborhood, or in its 2-hop topology, or a bidirectional link gets broken in its neighborhood. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of OLSR. OLSR has several advantages that makes it a better choice over other table-driven protocols. It reduces the routing overhead associated with the table-driven routing, in addition to reducing the number of broadcasts done. Hence, OLSR has the advantage of low connection setup time and reduced control overhead. And there are no disadvantages for it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find it worth watching, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.